Alright, welcome back everyone to Cars with Corey. We're going to try something a little different this time. Right behind me here is a 1968 John Deere Model 60. I know it's not a car and this is Cars with Corey, but what can I say? I love tractors. Got this from my uncle recently. Hasn't run in quite a few years. Believe it will, but let's find out. So here is the 60. The Model 60 was actually created for urban use. The somewhat iconic and notorious 110, 112s were actually what were considered garden tractors. They were geared differently. They essentially were set up for doing a lot more things. Plowing, had tons of attachments, PTO attachments, air compressor attachments, mid blades, all kinds of stuff. But the Model 60 and eventually the 70 and the 100 were made for urban use. So they're a lot smaller footprint. This is a tiny little tractor. And it really only came with a standard mower deck and then attachments. I believe there was a sprayer. You could also get a front blade or a snowblower, and that was really it. So the 60, the early 60 here, the 6 and 60, 6 horsepower. It's a Tecumseh engine. Hood here. This one's interesting. It actually has a pull start and it's electric start as well. So first iteration of the 60, as I mentioned, this one's a 1968. Equipped with a mower deck. This one had a leaf collection system that was on it when I got it from my uncle. He wanted to keep that, so that's back at his place, but I believe that was added after the fact. So neat little garden tractor. I've already switched out the front wheels. I had these laying around for a number of years. I bought them at a swap meet many years ago. I had no idea what I was going to use with them till today. They're going to take a little modification to make the wheels work, but do believe this tractor will run. I know it did run a few years ago at least. Probably got old gas in it. I did check for spark already. It does have sparks, so we're going to go ahead and drain the gas out, that old gas, put in some fresh gas, and probably wire up a battery somewhat temporarily. I don't really have one that's going to fit this, and winter's coming. If I buy a new one now, it'll just get ruined over the winter, or at least be 6 months old, so I'd rather buy one in the spring. But let's go ahead and drain out the tank and see if we can get this thing to fire up. All right, we've got the old, disgusting smelling and looking gas coming out of the tank here. Fortunately, it wasn't a lot in there. Pretty tiny tank. I think it only holds a gallon, but pretty easily slipped the fuel line off and opened the petcock. Fortunately, this was ran last. The petcock was shut down and carburetor was empty to fuel. So this will be a real quick, real easy revival, I guess, here. So sounds like we got all the gas out. We'll dump in some fresh and see if we can get her to fire off. Probably one of the better looking fuel tanks I think I've ever seen here. Kind of hard to see. It looks a little discolored down in there. I believe that's just a little bit of sediment, but the sides of the tank, which I'm trying to get so you guys can see, actually are really in impeccable shape. It's really just bare metal down there, just a little bit of discoloration in the middle where the fuel was setting. So this guy has a really clean fuel system, which is great. Someone really took care of this tractor. Okay, we got some fresh gas in it. I'm going to try the pull start. I read on the fuel tank you have to unhook a wire from the rectifier if you're not running a battery, so I've already unhooked that. We got gas down the carburetor, no apparent leaks, so fingers crossed. Let's pull it and see what happens. That's what happens when you put things away properly. Empty out the gas, well, at least out of the carburetor, shut the valve off, run all the gas out. Makes it a lot easier for the next guy. Got it running. We got some work to do on the front wheels. They're not made for this tractor, so I think I'm gonna have to chuck the hubs up in my lathe, hopefully. I can reach in there and trim a little bit off. They're just a little bit too wide on the outside, the hub is, so get that done. We do have bar tires on the front. I do want to put bar tires on the rear. Pretty much do a paint job, just a cosmetic restoration, since obviously it runs. Haven't tried the transmission out, but I don't imagine we'll have any issues there. So we'll continue forward.